Hi everyone and welcome along to How to Make Electro with me, Chris Agnelli. Over the next lot of videos over this course, we're going to take a look into the world of electro and sort of bring up to date our electro courses and see what's going on with the artist today. Quite an interesting track we've done here. Kind of got three distinct sections with an intro which doesn't kind of appear again, then into a breakdown section with a massive build-up, saw type pad stabs with a pulse type lead, big build-up, and then into a very dark section with sort of distorted 808 almost kicks and toms, really big toms and very jacking and very MIDI. We're basing this on the latest Knife Party track, which is Lrad, I think it is, or Lrad, Lrad. It's currently riding high in the Beatport charts, so we've taken a lot of cues from it and really dissected what it's doing. It just has this nice juxtaposition between the euphoric soy pad pulsy breakdown and this really slightly aggressive, very dark section. So we're going to kind of take the key elements from it and recreate them. It's a really different arrangement wise than I've been very used to. It's very, this whole intro that doesn't appear again I find strange, but it's a good intro to the track. We have the euphoric breakdown, a sort of a small middle section, another breakdown, and then out into this 24th triplet section towards the end. And it's 5 odd minutes long, and it really goes past very quickly. And coming from the trance progressive world, we're not used to this sort of bish bosh bush, get it in, get it out type of arrangement, but it's very enjoyable to do. So you guys on Ableton, I will try and always keep in mind to tell you how to do it in Ableton. I don't use Ableton that much because I'm a bit of a Logic head. I dabble in Ableton but can never sort of get it to finish. Get stuck in these sort of loops. So whenever I'm building whenever I'm using an Ultra Beat, you guys use a drum racks. There's nothing too complex in this track that shouldn't translate to Ableton very, very easily. 99% of the sounds generated come from Anna. There's one ES2 sound which we'll have a look at. Maybe I'll bounce out an audio file so you can download and have it, or you can recreate it. It's all about the sort of tuning the oscillators to give it a scary feel. So we'll get into that further down the track. You will have a folder with all the samples, and I'm sure I've probably forgotten some samples here, but as we go and build the track, we'll see if there's anything missing here. So the first thing to do is let's start building some drums. The kick, the drum tone took a bit of a jiggery pokery. It was kind of like whittling a piece of wood. It was just sculpting away at frequencies and adding in different hits and stuff to try and build the knockiness, the sort of midiness of the kick. This is very sort of Swedish House Mafia, I would have thought Hardwell-y type sound as well. It's not typical Knife Party in that it's not sort of dubsteppy, but it's much more in the sort of Swedish electro house type area. So let's start and let's bring up an Ultra Beat. We've got a blank Ultra Beat. So guys in Ableton, open up a drum racks and let's grab our kick loop sample. And let's put it in the right slot this time. So let's take off sustain and we want this about 500 mils. So we're on us in envelope 4 here, which is the amp. And we're going to use gate. So the first half I want kind of short kick with a bit of low cut on it, and then once we finish our intro, I want the kick to open up so the more sub come in. So we'll use this gate function here. Let's right click and create an empty region. Down to C1, and let's create and let's just pull the output, probably about -8 dB, so we're not too hot. Let's loop that up and switch on cycle, rename it, kick, and if we go to region, name regions by track channel strips, so bump, and that'll rename the region by the track name. Okay, so let's add a bit of EQ and compression in there. So I always add in about 49 hertz. I always add in a dab bottom end, and I'm going to remove just below that just to try and tighten it. 300 hertz I'm going to add in and take off some of the top end, so about 9,000 hertz. And then a little bit of compression. So let's go to peak, turn our attack down, turn our ratio up about 4:4:1. So attack about 7, 8, short enough release, hard knee, and threshold quite high. So we're just bringing out maybe just a little bit of that click, that knock. And then we want a low cut. I always use low cuts, and I never use high pass filters, so I get mixed up because in Logic it'll be low cut and high cut, and then it's kind of the opposite with the filter. So I sometimes go for a low cut filter, and it's the opposite that I want. So yeah, we will be bringing in just a dab of low cut automation for the intro, so we'll just have that in and sitting waiting to go. Now the next thing we want to do is another sampler instrument, and we want another ultra beat, and this we want to have claps in. So we're going to have, in slot 1 we'll have clap 1, in slot 2 we'll have clap 2, and in slot 3 we will have that snare. Now so we want all three on top of the kick. Oh, and let's make these kind of short. And this is where this will take a bit of mixing. Clap. So again, let's region to name, And let's take a look at the first clap. So let's name that clap 1. Take off this sustain. Let's turn it way down. Again, let's get our decay. So envelope 4. Let's have it somewhere about there. Next. Again, let's pull that a little. Take off the sustain and decay. So about 500 milliseconds. Clap 2, and you'll name that. And thirdly, then this electro snare. So let's turn off the sustain, attack in again. So about 200. Let's turn that and we'll mix it in. And let's switch on this this EQ. Let's remove some of the lows, probably 500 or so down. And let's start to mix these in. So this electro snare we want, it's giving us the real sort of in between the clap. The clap's giving us the kind of top end, and this electro snare we want to give is the body. So let's if I switch on the gate, see what happens. Switch on the gate for clap 2. Yeah, leave the gate open for clap 1, clap 2, and that's electro snare. Yeah, well look, we'll leave it at that at the moment. What I'm also going to do now is add in a channel EQ. Let's roll off some of the low ends. 120. And again, let's take off some of the sort of fizziness of the top end. And let's dip out around 4,000. And let's create at this stage our drum bus. So let's send this over to bus 10. And let's name that drum bus. And we'll send this over to bus 10. And it just means then we'll be sending some of the hi-hats to another bus parallel distorting, and then we'll send that bus back to 10, and everything, all the drums sort of going through a stereo channel, and we can put on a gel compressor over the top of it to try and make them all sound as if they're from the same area. So in the next video we're going to look at adding in some hats.